What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back and got some more free agency NBA news for you. Chris Paul has decided to spend his last season in the NBA with a team that he spent multiple seasons with prior. You might remember the Lob City Clippers back in the day. Chris Paul is headed back to LA to join the Clippers on a one-year deal. And I made a video over the weekend about how I had a couple ideas in mind for where Chris Paul should sign. And obviously people were saying, oh, he should go to the Clippers, yada, yada, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. I did not think that that would have been a good option for him. And frankly, I'm still kind of on that boat. But the options I had presented that I thought would be good were the Lakers, as well as the Phoenix Suns. I thought those two would be, very good options. And then, the Charlotte Hornets, I thought, if he wanted to be close to home, stuff like that. But I think this is a decent move. I just think, the Clippers they're just they're really good on paper, right? And, if this was 2018, this team would be unstoppable, right? You'd have a prime James Harden. You'd have a prime Kawhi Leonard. You'd have a prime Chris Paul, basically. You'd have a lot of really good players, but these dudes are, frankly, at the end of their, NBA lifespans, and you just can't rely on the health of Kawhi Leonard. And without Kawhi Leonard, I don't think this team has much really going for it, honestly. And I know that sounds pretty unreasonable because they have Bradley Beal, they have Chris Paul now, they have James Harden. They do have talented guys on this team. Ivica Zubac is one of the best bigs in the game right now as well. They just signed Brook Lopez. So they have talent, right? And frankly, looking at the standings for last season, they were the 5 seed, but they were only 2 wins out of the 2 seed. So it's very much possible that this team could be a top 3 seed this upcoming season. They make it to the playoffs. They get past the first round, but I don't know if this is a team that's going to be able to make it through the conference finals and get to the NBA finals, right? And I don't want to say they can't because I love Chris Paul. I think he's a very good player. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he actually is. But the dude's 40 years old. By the time they get into the playoffs, I think Chris Paul's birthday's in May or something. So he's probably going to be 41 if they do make it to a conference finals, right? Bradley Beal, you can't depend on his health either. And then Kawhi, same thing. You don't know if he's ever going to be healthy fully again, right? So Kawhi only played 30 some odd games last season and, was effective in those games, played 37 games to be exact. You lose Norman Powell, but Norman Powell played, 60 games. So Bradley Beal could probably hit that number. And James Harden played 79 games. So that's also great availability from, your star at that point, right? So I just don't know how this team's going to work. The projected depth chart right now on ESPN has James Harden starting at the point guard, Bradley Beal at the 2, Kawhi at the 3, John Collins at the 4, and Ivica Zubac at the 5, with Chris Paul being the first guy off the bench at the point guard slot, Chris Dunn being the first guy off the bench at the 2 spot, Derek Jones Jr. backing up Kawhi, and then you got Brook Lopez backing up Ivica Zubac. So, again, not a bad move. I just, I don't know what the goal is for the Clippers here. And I do like the idea of Chris Paul going back to a team that he's familiar with. Again, I loved seeing him play on the Clippers, but this is a very different Clippers team than what he was used to. But at the end of the day, I think this is mainly for his family. And he thought it would be nice to sign with the Clippers and kind of end out his career with a familiar franchise. But his family's in LA. He clearly wanted to go back to LA, and now he's returning to the Los Angeles Clippers on a one-year deal where he will likely start his farewell tour once we hit October and the NBA season starts up. So big fan of Chris Paul. I'm excited to see him play. I'll definitely be tuning into some Clippers games just to make sure I can catch him play one last time before he calls it quits. And you should do the same if you're a fan of basketball, or if you're, not as familiar with Chris Paul as, some more intense NBA fans. You should definitely check out a couple of Clippers games. He's not the same Chris Paul as it was 10 years ago, but he's still one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. So I'm gonna catch you guys later, man. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think about Chris Paul going back to the Los Angeles Clippers? I'm gonna catch you guys later. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.